Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Stars of Unity, Light Language, Guided Messages, and the Fountain Healing with Darla Williams. I'm Darla. Welcome. And we are just about to kick off going into light language to clear out or auric fields. Anything that is not serving you in the area of creation. What you have thought about, created, built, discovered, um, and put into motion that maybe has fallen off. It could be those unfinished projects that are no longer serving you. It can be all of those different things that you've agreed to that aren't something that you actually were capable of fulfilling. These things get in our energy field and they take up residency, and we need to remove them. So I want everybody to get in that place in yourself where you can calm yourself, relax, and come down into the here and now. I want you taking a deep cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. I'm going to go ahead and go with first doing a little sound therapy using the tuning fork so that we can tune in to here and now. Now I'm going to go ahead and begin the light language, and what I want you to do is imagine all of those things in that auric field that you are really wanting to disassemble and completely remove out of your field. And I want you to imagine those things that are there. And as we begin and I start to make the sound, I want you to imagine that sound going out in a wave and actually beginning to tear down all of those things that are in your life that are no longer serving you. Yanaha. Yaha. Shianaha. Yahana Shiarea. Soham. 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 I want you to imagine now as the sound comes in that you're restoring what you need in your life, that you're bringing yourself up and out and through to that space that is just bringing you that true joy and that happiness from inside. Yaha. Yashana. Yaha. Shana. Yaha. Okay. Now I want to go ahead and walk us into the fountain. So while you're there with your eyes closed, I want you to go ahead and imagine that you're in front of the gates of a garden. The gates are going to open and close. So now one is opening and closing. as it piqued your interest and began allowing you to step into your fullness of curiosity of going in to receive your healing. As it opens again, closes. On this one, you realize that when it opens, that it is your turn to step within. It's going to open as it's opening right now. Go ahead and step in onto the path. As you step onto the path, you see to the right of you, everything is lush and green and overgrown and flowing. The grass blades are waving to and fro, ebbing so gently in the breeze, to and fro, to and fro. And as you look out over it, you realize it is sprinkled across the top with every wildflower you've ever seen of every color and array. And to the left, as you begin walking, you notice down this path in the middle between the two that it sort of veers off to the left, which causes you to pan over. And you see the trees and the shrubs and the bushes of all types. You can see the flowers of everything that brings you delight. And as you begin to flow around that corner that's bending now to the right, you see that there's a bench. And on that bench, there may be someone or an angel, someone from your life, maybe an ancestor that you may not know, someone from your current life that may have passed that has a message. Or you may actually have an angel waiting by to deliver some guidance. I want you to take a moment with that and hold in this space for a second. I want you to receive whatever it is that you need to receive. When you're ready, I want you to turn to the left, and before you is an immense, enormous fountain. You notice that there are two stairs that appear to go up, but immediately down into the basin. I want you to step up, and down into the basin. As your feet hit the bottom, you've noticed that the waters are light, the white light cascading effect are coming down from the top, flowing down, down, down into the ground, down around your feet, swirling and twirling around the feet and around the calves and the shins and all the way up to your knees. You feel this tug upon yourself within your heart. You pull yourself forward and you actually walk into that flow of white light cascading water effect from above so below. As it is, it shall be. And into the crown, go ahead and open and receive. Allowing this water and this white light to come in and pour into the crown, down all the way into the third eye. And as it begins to illuminate the third eye, you begin seeing all the different storylines in your life that are no longer serving your highest good, that are not helping you, that are hindering, that are blocking you, and all the limiting belief systems that you have. Let's go ahead and uproot those and bring those into the center core of who you are, and bringing that down into that white light ball water effect that is flowing and swirling within your mind, bringing up all of these storylines that are keeping you bound up, locked up, and kept up. From the beginnings of the foundations of creation, you were whole and complete, and let's bring you back to that space. Bringing this down into your throat. Let's go ahead and allow this to swirl around and around, cleansing and clearing up any vibrational storylines that we've spoken over ourselves or others have spoken over us that we have continued to repeat, that are no longer serving our highest good. Let's go ahead and remove them. Bring those down into that ball, bringing it out, and then we're going to pixelate it out down your arms, into your fingertips, and back up into the heart space. We're going to bring that back in, and as soon as it trickles in, it's going to start swirling and twirling back into that light ball. It's going to be pushing through like a mighty waterfall, pushing through your heart, down and through, removing any blockages, any calluses, anything, just pouring through and bringing the salve to the heart from all of those wounded spaces, bringing healing, restoration, power, allowing you to be mended, cleansed, and restored to the wholeness and the completion from the foundations of creation. As it goes down further, we're going to pull that all the way down into the solar plex. As it hits the solar plex, we're going to break up all of this stuff that is blocking the way. Let's go ahead and push through, pushing this down through. Like, I don't know what that is. Something someone else right now sees as a resistance, something that you're pushing through. Like it's almost like a cylinder shape pushing it through. Mm, those wooden, they had little pegs with a little wooden hammer. And you little kids put it in there and they can tap the peg through. There's on one of them, it's really, really tight. I don't know who this is referring to, but you're recognizing the toy that kids play with. And as I want you to imagine right now that you can personally take that hammer and take this block that is sitting in your solar plex. Imagine that white light water effect hitting and pressing through your solar plex. Bringing that down, taking it into the sacral, taking away and allowing the waters to go ahead and cleanse and restore you back to the foundations of creation, removing from you the patterns that keep you locked up and bound up to your old ways and bringing you into the new, bringing true restoration, healing, and down into the root, searching, looking, cleansing, healing, restoring the root. All of us are whole and complete from the foundations of creation, bringing us down into the thighs, into the calves, into the soles of your feet, down, out, into the ground, pushing this water from above, so below, all the way into the ground as far away from you as possible, taking all of those storylines, all of those things, that unlimiting belief, all of the limiting belief systems that have been in any of our lives, we're going to push that down into the ground and leave it there, no longer allowing it to come back into our life, just bringing back the white light and the waters and the cleansing, healing back into the toes, into the soles of your feet, into the heels, up into the calves, up into your knees and your shins, coming all the way back up into the thighs, into the root, bringing this back up, straight up the spinal column, into the brainstem, bringing it around to the frontal cortex, into the social lobe, recalibrating, healing, restoration, whole and complete. Allowing it to leave, going back up through the crown and back into the heavenlies. Go ahead and say thank you when you're ready. Taking a deep cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Go ahead and wiggle your fingers and toes. When you're ready, open your eyes. I'm calling in my guides. I'm thanking you for all of your work that you do through me. I'm asking you to go ahead and connect and bring forth messages. Today I feel led to start with Ask Your Guides, and I'm going to start with Lorraine. Where we're starting with right now, Lorraine, it says solitude, higher self. You there, Lorraine?
Yep.
Okay. It says solitude, higher self. Your guides are saying to you right now, your desire to seek solitude is appropriate at this time. You're being counseled by your higher self to retreat and to renew your soul through quiet contemplation. Your nervous system has been overstimulated and you can't absorb any more input from the outer world. Step away and give yourself the necessary peace and time alone you require to revitalize your system. In doing so, you will begin to sense and feel and even hear the voice of your higher self, but only when you step into more natural surroundings. Connect with nature in whatever way is practical. Given your circumstances, fully open your heart to your higher self, even if you fear that you can't make contact. You are making contact. Furthermore, your higher self asks you to take your time when contemplating your circumstances and considering your options. Resist the temptation to yield to any sense of urgency. There's no emergency. Your true direction will make itself known in your patient, if you're patient. Your highest self is also alerts you to the fact that not all the necessary pieces of information to make the best decision may be apparent yet. Your higher self wisely counsels that something, the most powerful thing you can do, is do nothing. The message: be quiet and wait. Oh,
Thank you. That was interesting.
I am going to take us through and ask the Galactic Council right now. And at this moment, we had two cards that popped. I want to go ahead and normally I have you pick, but I feel that they relate somehow. Talks about the Star Brothers and karmic relationships. Star Brothers, Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. You're most protected, you're more protected than you can imagine. It's safe to open the back of your heart. You're being called to be open to receiving a new level of support now from those in your life and from the benevolent beings you're connected with. Through ancestral patterning, current life traumas, and best life karmic impressions, many of us have become mistrustful and suspicious to loyalty and have blocks when it comes to receiving support. We've learned that we need to go at life alone. That it's not safe to let our guard down and our heart open. That the world isn't a friendly place. The Star Brothers want you to know a new experience of life on Earth. They want you to feel deeply secure and safe, even if you're going through a difficult time. They want you to hand over your fears to them, to see them as opportunities to let in more love. They're guiding you to stay open to receiving a greater level of support than you could ever imagine, both in this world and beyond. To call in your team of loyal protectors and supporters, both physically and energetically. They want you to learn to soften through life's up and downs and to learn to open your heart, especially when it most wants to harden. How can you open yourself up to receiving more support? So we're going to jump over here because that card talked about the karmic, and the other card was karmic relations. relationships. So I told you, like, I felt normally I have people pick one, and that time I felt like both were referring to you, and I was like, okay, we'll just go with it. Your karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, and conflict. And that is the card, hun. And the constellation Orion is thought by many to have been a place of great polarity and eventual unity. Some believe that many star seeds who were part of this cosmic history are incarnate on Earth now and are playing out karmic relationships from Orion's times. Perhaps you're one of them. Polarity causes conflict and highlights separation. However, because of this, conflict can also result in a unity and growth. Too many misunderstandings are created when we don't open our heart and mind to see things from a different point of view. When we are going into reactive second guessing mode, instead of gathering the courage to open our heart, we should admit that we may have reacted because of our own woundings and then find mutual ground. We're all innocent children looking to be seen, understood, and cherished. It's much harder to grow closer through conflict than it is to grow further apart. And yet, this is an invitation of conflict. It's easy to react and take things personally. It's more challenging to see the innocence of all involved and find a way to grow closer through the conflict. It's through relationships that we grow the most. How can you soften your heart and drop your defensiveness enough to see things from a different point of view? How can you see the innocence of all involved? How can you learn to see the similarities rather than the differences? Soul seed inquiry. Which relationships do you find the most challenging? How can you see things from a different perspective? How are you being called to allow growth through the conflict? And I'm going to go ahead and pull. Before I do, Lorraine, do you have a specific question in regards to those cards that universe can deliver an answer to?
Yeah, what messages of reassurance do my grandmas have for me?
The grandmas or reassurance? That's a different card. Your reassurance.
Yeah, when I was in the fountain, I saw both of them.
Okay. That one was a intense fountain. Even I got choked up in that fountain. And I do this stuff all the time. That one was really intense. The
Yeah, it
rose
really is.
thread. Inner call, so led the mystic, living courageously. Your message from them, look, it looks like a fountain right in the middle. But the people, that higher self within, it says, inner call, soul led, the mystic, living courageously. This is a card of the mystic, the one who touches the depths of the inner world and the inner weavings of the world and beyond, way beyond. They're dedicated to listening to the mysterious voice whispering within, to follow their intuition and living in accordance to that, to living by being guided by the rose thread. Following the rose thread means being dedicated to walking the way of the rose, to being in service to humanity, and dedicated to writing a new story. It requires courage and faith and the willingness to pave a new path. The rose has been a symbol of the mysteries for thousands of years. The rose thread is an invisible path that the mystics follow. It takes courage to trust it, for the path is different for every single person. This is why it requires courage to trust the inner call, and those who do so find great reward. This card is a sign that you're being called to follow the initiatory path led by the thread deep within. You may find that you're part of the great You may find that you're in place of great change and are being called to have faith and gather up the courage to take the next step. This card is a sign of encouragement to keep taking the next step. It acknowledges the courage it takes to live a soul-led life and honoring you for always taking the leap, even when things feel unclear, especially when they do. I trust that I'm always led from within, which means that from your grandmothers, they're always by. Tune in to the advices that you've received over the years from them, and that they've really marked a way for you to know your journey, and that they are still standing by supporting you in it. Um, Lori, do you have a specific question today? Or do you want the cards to just...
Um, I'm in a bit of a transition in life, so just what the cards have to say, I guess, will be good. Yeah.
I'm going to start with Ask Our Guides. And Joe, I don't want the Ask Our Guides really. Will you grab a deck of cards out of my purse hanging on the chair? It's my Archangel deck, and that's the one I'm looking for right now. I'm like sitting here going, where's my deck? It's in my purse. You've been who I've been thinking about all day. Somebody needed a read out of that card, and I'm going, this is not the ones I want. I've been feeling something from that deck all day, and nobody has come to me for a read. Thank you so much, babe. I'm just going to ask our guides real quick to go ahead and give us an understanding of where you're at, where you're going next. So we're asking our guides, our angels, our archangels, Blu-ray angels, and or anything else that wants to come through. However, there anything our guides want to say? Is there any ancestor that would like to come through for Lori? Anything that will give her real clarity and understanding right now of where she's at? Your card. Are you 1, 2, or 3?
1.
Eight of Raphael. There is something better waiting for you. Do what you know is right for you, a spiritual quest. So you really are at that transition right now and have a lot going on. So I'm going to read a little bit further on what 8 of Raphael says. But Raphael is coming to you, and There's something better waiting for you. The ways in which you've evolved have you convinced that there must be more to life than there is. The inward search for answers is rewarded at this time. It's time to leave the past behind and embrace the brand new you. This choice is not forced upon you, but it is of your making. Your past experiences have been very important in helping you understand who you are. Be grateful for what you've learned and build upon it. A relocation or change in your job or relationships is possible at this time. Additional meanings of the card: a journey, a spiritual quest, doing what you know is right for you, a change of interests. This card actually brings something in on this. I don't know how much this is what I'm hearing. So I'm going to deliver it because of what I'm tuning into. There are people in your current life that do not understand the spiritual world. You have a lot of those around you that question what you're doing and are concerned for your well-being. I don't know how much that resonates. You may be getting to come up against that with someone, but I want you to know that what Raphael is really wanting to get to you is that it's the best for you to experience, to go through this point, because it's going to bring you into that space where you have your full authority, where you feel totally tuned into your authentic higher self. So keep going and keep moving forward. I'm going to go ahead and ask a little bit further in regards from Ask Our Guides, because I just want to give you a little more direction on those things because of the change of possible job, relations, home. I'm not sure, but there's a big changes that are happening, which you said you were in a transitional space. So compromise. Our guides are telling us to discuss compromise, the master teacher. So there is a lesson in this right now. Your master teacher is reminding you that nothing is entirely good or bad, even people, and that every person has their own version of reality, which may not necessarily agree with yours. Instead of arguing with or feeling wronged by those who refuse to submit to your point of view, give up your righteous and rigor demands and broaden your perspective to include the interests of those that you're struggling with now. Mentally move forward towards the center and open your mind to look at the situation from their point of view. Although it's easy to feel indignant and defensive as you deal with these certain impasses, the truth is that no one's trying to harm you. Instead, your detractors are simply supporting their own interests and priorities, which are different from yours. Rather than reacting emotionally to the resistance, strive to understand them. Be mindful not to be overly self-centered, however justified it may feel. Strive to be fair instead. Your master teacher's message: accept that your interests are no more or no less important than those of the people around you. So the only way to progress to higher ground is to compromise. So I don't know. I feel that right now I'm called to do a card because of that, for a healing from the magic of unicorns. Our unicorns come in and they always bring some kind of gift, healing, clarity, understanding to the circumstance and situation. So I'm going to call upon them to come in and just bring a soothing and healing to your circumstance in your transition right now, so that you can transmute. Now, sometimes the cards can be in reverse. If it's not your feeling that way, maybe someone else is around you. So if it's not immediate to you, it may be in reverse. Remember that when those cards come through and they have such a a heaviness that is causing us to look at things from different perspectives. We got to really look at it. And if it doesn't resonate with you, and it doesn't feel like it's you, it may have been in reverse, and somebody around you that you're dealing with right now may be having those same words, and you'll probably realize that, oh yeah, those are the things that so and so is saying. So if it's not you directly, it has to do with you indirectly. And no, this one's uncored relationships. Let go now. Forgiveness is freedom. So no matter what they've done, your freedom comes in the forgiveness. So I want to
Mm.
I want to share something with you, Lori. I don't know what that situation is exactly, but I do know I'm getting some insight. And I want you to imagine that this is the subject, the person, the things, the circumstances, whatever it is. And you have held on to this for so long because it's been a part of your life. It's been everything that you are. It's been all that it is. And it is so hard to let it go that over time you keep repeating how important this is to you and you allow it to continue to wrap you up. But in all actuality, there's a whole nother story waiting on the other side. But it has to come from forgiveness. Once you let go and forget, it no longer allows it to bind you up and keep you kept. So you got to let go. The letting go now is important because it's for your freedom. It isn't about the other person, it's about you in your heart. It's about your life so that you can continue to live for your highest good. Letting go allows you to get yourself in that space where you can continue to move forward and do your soul journey. And because the uncorded relationship, let go now. Forgiveness is freedom. Your unicorn loves you with your high, pure love. These perfect beings cannot comprehend the attachments we make on earth, but have enormous compassion for us and will help us to let go of any that are holding us back. Any lower emotions you are harboring against someone may be perfectly justified when examined from the limitations and the ego beliefs of this lifetime. However, your guidance is to release them all now. Consider how you could have consider how you could have attracted that person's behavior. What might have occurred in other lifetimes? Are they teaching you something important in this one? A desire for a particular outcome or a lack of forgiveness binds your soul to someone else's. How many more years or even lifetimes are you prepared to be chained to this person? When you can happily bless a person who has wronged you and visualize them receiving whatever they want or need, you are free. Then your unicorn can joyfully replace all that you have lost and more. They can return money and possessions multiplied and restore and enhance your reputation. They can bring you greater love, success, health, and happiness. Unconditional love does not come from binding cords. So you can never lose true love. Your guidance is to scan back through the years for everyone, dead or alive, who may still be influencing you. Then ask your unicorn to set you both free. Uncorded relationships set yourself free. Call your unicorn. It lovingly enfolds you in pure love. Imagine one or more people you are attached to. Tell them you want to release any lower energies between you. What are the attachment like? They may present themselves to you as chains or ropes or daggers or something else. Mentally say to the other people, I set us free. Ask your unicorn to dissolve any cords with light from its horn. Know that unicorns will bless the other people with whatever their heart's desires. Unicorn blessings are now showering over you too. Your affirmation, I am free to be myself. That is your reading, Lori. I don't know how much that resonated, or I hope that it did.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Yeah, it
uh,
did.
if I want to let you know, I'm an intuitive transformational therapist. And if for any reason you need to connect to do further cord cutting, I have one that I do with people. I wouldn't mind helping you, and I would do your first session for free.
Okay, thank
So
you.
if you want to reach out to me, you can find me on Facebook. If you go to the search bar and do um, hashtag DRW Designs, it'll instantly take you to my page.
Okay,
Can I
thank
just
you.
say to Lori really quickly, Darla helped me through one of the toughest and roughest patches of my life this year, when my dad was dying. And I never had a great relationship with my dad as a teenager or an adult. And through Darla's, through everything we did together, I was able to not only repair my relationship with my father, but come to peace with him. And he came to peace with me as well. And for the first time in over 45 years, my father told me he loved me
Mm,
and reached his arms out to give me a hug. And that just was absolutely amazing and incredible and really a miracle. And I honestly could not have achieved any of that without Darla. So that just speaks volumes to her abilities. She is absolutely incredible. Darla, I love you so much.
I love you too, Lorraine. Really, I do. And it was a challenge in the beginning. I am so grateful, and for you to actually receive those words just before his passing is huge, because that was a part I wasn't sure whether or not we could get to, but I was willing to do all the work that was necessary with you to walk with you in that journey, and you received far more than either one of us could have ever imagined, and it was a beautiful symphony for you.
It really was. And I mean, I I didn't think it was going to be possible either. And honestly, I am just so utterly amazed that I was able to, receive everything and then some, because so many people have so many regrets. When they lose someone, they always think, well, I wish I would have said this, or I wish I would have done that. And there is absolutely zero regret on my part. And I'm pretty sure now that there's zero regret on my dad's part too, because of the conversations that we had and the things that he said to me. It was just absolutely beautiful. I can't thank you enough for helping me through that.
But I'm here to journey with people for life. That's what I do. I I know what it feels like to be alone and lost and not know how to get to where I was going. And I did it for many years on my own until I found wonderful tribes that I'm in now. But I was out there, I was an outcast, I was alone, I was a wanderer. I had no one to really connect to except Source. And because I spent so much time there, I realized the importance of it, that everybody needs a partner to journey through life with. And that's what I've chosen to do. I chose to make it my everyday play, as the card said today. I'm going to change the word. It's not work. It's play. I'm going to choose to play in my life every day and take the journey with everyone to help them to come through because everyone is worthy of living their best life. So I know we're at the end of the hour. It is 8:01. If anyone needs to go, I completely understand. But Joe, I do owe you a reading. So do you have a specific question? And if you don't need to go, you guys can stay on.
Nope, I can stay.
So with the opening card, the mirror card, pertaining to that, can I get some better direction?
So I'm going to go ahead and go to our archangels. Of the archangel. I was asking, it's given. Here we go. Maybe that's where I need to start. Asking, it's given. What is your specific question on that?
Really just a better understanding of what is being mirrored from that card read earlier before the recording. Messing y'all up, huh?
No, it was just, it's not going to come from that card deck because that's more of a direct from the universe answer. And you're asking a question answer, which requires a guide or an angel to come in and tell us what's going on. It's in this. You are the solar plex.
Possibly.
You were the
Yes, possibly.
peg.
I
I
wasn't
felt like I
fully,
needed a mallet to push that peg through your solar plex.
I wasn't fully envisioning it, but for me it was more or less how a mechanic pops a piston back into the block with the back side of the handle and just pop, 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 and it just
That's what I was doing with my hand. I was hitting the back of my hand like that. I was
yeah,
like,
my eyes
okay,
were
those are
closed.
not. Which one of those are yours?
You'd think your pinky might be touching it. From there, it would be the third.
One.
Next one over. Next one over. That one. Yep. Peace.
I was gonna do it, but I was like, nope, I'll let you. You have the perfect tone for it. So, peace. Archangel Azrael, release the past. There's more enriching future coming. Let go and let God. So, I'm gonna go to 30. And it's your favorite number. Look across the top there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep.
That is definitely your card.
Were there wings on that card? Did I see big old wings?
You did. Look at that.
Ah, he ain't got my beard.
The Peace card heralds a time of great transformation for you. It's a period of leaving behind the situations or experiences that no longer serve you. You've outgrown this phase of your life and you're ready to move forward. The time has come for new adventures that will enrich your purpose and allow you to evolve, like a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. Often, when this card is drawn, the time of change was expected. It may come with a sense of great relief or perhaps feeling of sadness. Archangel Azrael opens his arms to you with love and compassion and will hold you during the period of transition. Take time to experience any emotions you have with grace and self love. Embrace the new dawn, release the past, let go and let God. Archangel Azrael is a wonderful and extremely elegant angel who helps those who are experiencing a loss. When you call upon Azrael, it is as though two big arms from heaven have wrapped around you, providing comfort and support. Solicit Archangel Azrael's aid when you need to let go of a situation or a part of your life that is no longer serving you. So we're going to go a little bit deeper with that, and I'm going to go ahead and go to our star seeds and find out what is going on. So the galactic team, we're calling upon you to give us understanding and clarity. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, Joe?
Hold up 3 and 5. They're kind of both equally pulling at me, but if anything, it would be the ring with the opal in it.
Child of the cosmos, the intelligence of the universe lies within you. Whew, that is, I haven't even got to read this card yet, and it's coming with such a heavy mantle. That's all I can, like, you have a position of great authority in the cosmos.
I just keep going back to that call I had with Maya. I still gotta look up Mintaka.
The intelligence of the universe lies within you. There's a mysterious force that governs all of life, an intelligence that tells flowers when to bloom and the tides and seasons when to come and go. That intelligence is within you too. It was there before you drew your first breath, and it will be there well beyond your last. It is that part, it's the part of you that informed every cell what to do when you were in your mother's womb. It's harder to resist this force than it is to surrender to it, because Earth is a planet of polarity and free will. It's easy to forget that this intelligence exists within us. So often we become disconnected from this pulse of life and fall into the pattern of believing that we're separate or feeling that we need to go it alone. We feel isolated and as if we need to figure things out for ourselves, to rely on our own strength. You're being called to remember the intelligence that's within each and every one of yourselves, to remember that you're the precious child of a living, gentle universe, that you have access to all of the intelligence, wisdom, strength, flow, and qualities that there ever were, are, or will be, and to remember that if flowers know exactly when and how to bloom, then you do too. How can you surrender more deeply to the intelligent flow of life? We're not done. Like, we're not done. The reunion, soul recognition, collaboration, partnership, and friendship. So you are coming back into the knowing within, the reunion yourself. Mhm. All right. The reunion. This current period in history has been spoken of by mystics throughout the ages, and you chose to incarnate right in the middle of it. You didn't do so alone. We came here in waves and with joint soul mission. You were never meant to walk this life alone. it's time to come back together, to remember that we're not in competition, rather, we hold the keys to each other. This is the way of the rose, to bloom bravely, regardless of what others are doing, and not be threatened when others do this alongside of you. The rose didn't open and close according to who walking by. She reveals her beauty to the world without wavering. You're here to do that same too. There are people who, at a soul level, chose to walk alongside of you. But for them to find you, you must first let them see you. Reveal yourself to the world. Open your heart and mind to collaboration rather than competition. Collaboration than competition. So many of us particularly chose those who identify as women have learned to be mistrustful of one another, as if we're in competition. This rose comes with a message of collaborations, partnerships, and friendships, a confirmation that one or more people are entering your life. Or it could be a sign that you're being called to co create a project with someone you already know. Decide to bloom together. To release any old programs of competition, I myself open up to the relationships and collaboration. It's safe for me to trust and co create. It's safe for me to speak clearly. It's safe for me to set boundaries and collaborate.
Definitely leave that card out to revisit. The audio broke up a bit during the call, so I definitely want to reread
This one,
that one later.
okay, I'm going to leave it right here. Um, Now, from what you just received, do you have a specific question to the universe for what you can ask so that you may receive your message?
I think I already have. I think what you've read already answered what was bouncing around through my mind.
So, my uncontrolled thoughts are not to be feared. Though there is no reason to worry about your thoughts, for they are not like a loaded gun. They may that may wreak powerful and instantaneous destruction. For you have plenty of time. As soon as you become aware of any negative feelings, to begin to choose other less resistant thoughts and thereby choose a more desired outcome.
Awesome.
So,
Ooh, I have to say, I love that message.
Mm-hmm. It's funny though, because the last couple days I've been doing just that. I've like instantaneously recognized that negative self-talk and switched it, flipped it, breathed through it, whatever I needed at that moment.
so really great reads tonight, guys. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.